Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we're going to be covering the first property of an ism, which is definiteness. So just as a quick recap, there are four properties of an ism, right? So first we have definiteness, then we have gender, both male and female, then we have number, and then we have status. So what this means is that within every ism that you see, there's going to be all four of these components. And the first that we're going to be covering is definiteness. So let's go ahead and delve in. So before touching on the actual concept of definiteness, we have to just get a bit of terminology out of the way. And one of the things that's connected to understanding definiteness is heavy and light endings. So an ism can have one of two endings types. It can either be heavy or it could be light. Now by light we mean it pretty much just has a single ending, right? A single ending. So you see there we have one dhamma, it's a single ending, therefore it's going to be a light ending. And then by heavy we mean that it has a double ending, right? So it's just some quick terminology. So light, heavy. So look at some examples here. So we have mu'minun here. So this would be an example of a heavy ending. How do I know it's a heavy ending? Because it has a double ending there, right? And then we'll take a look at a light ending. And then we have al-mu'minu. We know this is a light ending because it's a single ending, right? So heavy, double, single, light. Okay, now moving on. Types of definiteness. So definiteness, the property of definiteness for an ism can be broken down into two types. There is non-specific and then specific. So non-specific and specific. So what exactly is non-specific? Non-specific is when you're referring to something, but you're not talking about a specific thing, right? So a apple. This is it speaking in a general sense. I'm not speaking about a particular apple, rather any apple works. If I were to tell you to go to the grocery stores and grab an apple, that means that you can go and you can grab any apple. There is no particular one, it's general, right? Now, if I were to say and try and make something specific, in English we would say the apple, right? So now I'm talking about a specific apple. If I said, go to the kitchen and grab me the apple, you know that I'm talking about a very specific one. It's not a general case. So in Arabic, this works a little bit differently. Rather than making a separate word, we change the word itself, right? So that's why it's a property of a word. So to make something non-specific, all you have to do is make the ending heavy. And by default, all words are non-specific. That's their default state. So let's take a look at it. Some heavy ending examples, some non-specific examples. So we have kitabun, which kitab means book, but because of the bun on the end, that un ending, it's going to mean a book. Another example here, we have muslimun, right? This means a Muslim. And we know that because of the double ending there. It implies that it's non-specific. We're not talking about a specific Muslim. And we have another case here, rajulun, which means a man. We can tell, once again, by that double ending. That's non-specific. So let's take a look at specific. So as we said before, by default, all words are non-specific, meaning they have to be changed to become specific. And how do we do that? Two-step process. You throw on an alif lam, and you drop the double ending and you make it light. So, al-kitabu. So because of that al, the ending is now going to become light, and it means the book. We're not talking about a specific book. Once again, we have another example here. We have al-muslimu. Al-muslimu. Before it was muslimun, meaning a Muslim, but now since we added al, and the ending became light, it becomes the Muslim. And one last example. Ar-rajulu. So in this case, it means the man. One thing to note that's very important is that both alif lam and a heavy ending can never exist together. So you'll never see ar-rajulun, because that would be a conundrum. You'd have a word that's both non-specific and specific. It'd be equivalent to saying the man. Wouldn't work. So whenever you have alif lam, it's going to automatically change this to a light ending, because heavy endings and alif lam can never exist together. All right, jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.